Today's activity is a listening activity, and I will give you some time to gather your materials. You will need a quiet area where you can sit down and listen several times to the prompts, lápiz o bolígrafo, pencil or pen, and of course a scrap piece of paper. You must submit your responses on its learning. So what you're doing is just working on the activity and listening and answering on your scrap piece of paper. Then you go back to its learning and submit your answer, your final answer, which will be a conjugated verb in the pretérito or the imperfecto according to the sentence. Remember, you're listening for context clues that will indicate whether you are conjugated on the pretérito or the imperfecto. One more time. You will be listening to a recorded prompt. Then you will be conjugating the visual verb, and this number one example will be ser, and you will decide whether you need to use in the pretérito or the imperfecto according to your sentence. So I'll give you some time now to gather a piece of paper, pen or pencil, and get ready. Remember, you have the option of playing several times if you need to hear your prompts. There will be a moment of silence in between, and your cue that the verb is needed will be a beep. That beep indicates that you must use the verb that you see for each item in that particular spot. So I'll give you some time and we will get started. Okay, so you're getting ready to listen for number one, and the verb that you need to be thinking of is the verb ser. Your audio clues or your listening prompt will help you to decide whether you need to conjugate ser in the pretérito or the imperfecto. So let's get started. Now you will be listening to the first one, and the verb that you're thinking is the verb ser.
1. El señor Álvarez vivió en Nápoles cuando... Niño.
Okay, so I walk you through this again. You just heard the first audio prompt. If you need to play it again, you will have that option of pausing, replaying, and then writing your answer. But I'll walk you through number one so that you get the idea to complete from 2 to 6. Let's listen to that prompt again.
1. El señor Álvarez vivió en Nápoles cuando... Niño.
Okay, so you were listening to the first prompt and you hear cuando, a beep, and then niño. In your sentence, there is context clues that will indicate whether you need to answer with the pretérito or the imperfecto. So let's hear to that prompt one more time as I'm walking you through this first part of the exercise, and then you will be on your own to complete the other items. Let's listen to number one again, and then I will play the actual response.
1. El señor Álvarez vivió en Nápoles cuando... Niño.
Okay, so if you're ready to record your response, then on your scrap piece of paper, you should have a conjugated form of the verb ser. I think it could be era, so let's listen to the actual answer to that prompt, and that way you get the idea on how to complete the other items from 2 to 6. Okay, so if you are working the example with me and you have on your scrap piece of paper the word era, let's see if we are correct.
El señor Álvarez vivió en Nápoles cuando era niño.
Yes, era niño. Okay, so now you will hear all audio prompts for number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Remember, you have the option of pausing in between each of the prompts so that you can listen to it several times. Okay, so I'll give you some time to get ready. And remember, for number 2, you're thinking of the verb estar. For number 3, you're thinking of the verb estudiar. For number 4, the verb conseguir. Number 5, the verb preparar. And number 6, the verb mirar. Now remember that when you submit on its learning, spelling counts. So make sure that you know how to conjugate and how to spell each of these verbs. Let's get started with item number 2. Let's listen to the audio prompt.
Dos. El día de la entrevista, la secretaria enferma.
Again, number 2, número 2.
2. El día de la entrevista, la secretaria enferma.
Número 3.
3. La señora Álvarez en París.
Número 3.
3. La señora Álvarez en París.
Número 4.
4. Ricardo está contento porque trabajo.
Número 4.
4. Ricardo está contento porque trabajo.
Número 5.
5. Ricardo e Isabel, una cena para el señor y la señora Álvarez.
5.
5. Ricardo e Isabel, una cena para el señor y la señora Álvarez.
Okay, and the last one, número 6.
6. Isabel se enojó con Ricardo porque él siempre mucha televisión.
Número 6.
6. Isabel se enojó con Ricardo porque él siempre mucha televisión.
Okay, so now you have your audio for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you need to go back and listen to it several times, go for it. Remember, you must submit your conjugated verb for each of the items from 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Buena suerte.